Today let's take the another function. So I have given one calculated field like first two character of the first name, and that should be called concatenated with hash, and then first two character of the last. So to create a calculated field, the task we use is create calculated field. Now click on create calculated field, give the name CF, convert text to number. So let's say if there is any text, okay, and you want to convert that text into number, okay. So text as in you can understand in this way. Let's say this is P triple zero. Here you can see the position here in the side, business admin. This is job type position name. So if you want, or let's say this four vice president, okay, if you see this four vice president, when you extract this four, if you want to convert that four uh, into a numeric form, then you will be able to use, you will be able to do via convert text to number. So there is a function convert text to number. Let's say I'm just mentioning. So here you need to give the text field, and then you can use the text field and uh, b- see basically this calculated field function is used to convert your text into number. Now whatever text field you have created in the system, and you want to convert that text field into numeric form, then you can use this calculated field. Okay, so let's say you have created a substring. When you do a substring on any field, that creates a text calculated field. Okay, uh, and if you want to convert that text calculated field into numeric format, then you can use this one. Okay, so let's say I'm creating a text calculated field. Let's just see if text constant 22,000 worker. Okay, so it's like let's say there is a date. Okay, you are extracting something from the date. One, let's say 01/01/2000. Now you are extracting this 2000, okay, and you have to use this date for further calculation. Like you need to add uh, 20 in the year, whatever you extract, then you have to add let's say 20 is like 20 plus 2000, and it should generate 2020. Okay, so to do this calculation, you should be having both the numbers in numeric format, right? Then only this calculation will happen. If these two are string and if you are adding, so that's basically a concatenation, right? So, I mean, when you have a text, when you have a numeric character in text format and you need to use in the calculation, you convert that numeric into, sorry, text into number, and then you use in calculations. Okay. So this is widely, it's not that widely used, but definitely when you will extract, when you will do the substring, or when you do the formatting changes, okay, then at that point of time, you will get the derived value in text format, okay, and sometimes you will require to be just convert into numeric format, and then you are going to use this calculated field. Okay. Now your questions whether like how I went there. So basically here, for some copying test. Here, this is a text field. Here I have to use, I cannot enter a direct value. This is not a free text box. Like free text box as in whatever you want to enter. No, you can't like that. See, whatever you are going to type here, it is going to search for that value and you need to select value. You will not be able to type anything random here. Okay. So for that one here, I had to pass some values. To pass some values, in system there are other fields already created, but to show you guys, I created a new another field, and that is a text type. Okay, text constant. Okay, this is a text constant, and I'm trying to convert this 2000 into number. Okay, and to create calculated field from here, if you see when I click on this, the last option you can see is create calculated field. Now here, apart from this conversion, this is actually formatting your data as well. Okay, so let's say you have converted a uh, let's say you have converted a big number. Okay, there is a calculated field. You are deriving something from any field from the user profile, and if from that user profile, when you extract it, you need to convert that into decimal separators. Just an example in decimal separators. So you can use, there will be multiple options. Let me just go and edit this. So here you are having multiple option. Like how do you want to separate the digits? Okay. If you want to separate digits in comma, you can use comma. In period, you can use period. Based on users locale will be preferable. The reason is, let's say you are working in for any client, and that client is located in multiple locations. Okay. So let's say the company, the branch is in India, then the branch is in US, then the branch is in UK, and let's say some other parts of the world. Now, everywhere there is a different way of representing numbers. Okay. For everything, there is a different representation, and each and everyone understand their own representation. For example, in India, when you talk about the salary, let's say, you are trying to join any another company, you're trying to switch, you never discuss your salary in, like, 1 million rupees or 2 million rupees, right? You don't do that. Basically you want like 10 lakhs rupees, okay, 20 lakhs rupees, my CTC should be 30 lakhs rupees, that is what we talk. Whereas when you go to the US, they used to mention in millions, right? So basically, ideally you should always select based on users locale. So this is going to give you the value in whatever country, wherever their profile is configured, the data is going to be shown in that way. Okay. So in India, let's say we use like, after 301 comma, then 001 comma, and then one. Let's say in this one, right? Whereas the another representation is, okay. So this is another representation. So basically, based on user locale, when you select, it is automatically going to select the format, give the format in which user is located. Okay. So how that works is, basically when your profile is created, your profile gets created in one particular entity that is located in one part of the world. Okay. So from that only, it decide whether you are working from India, what kind of date you should be visible, what would be the date format, what would be the number format you should be able to see. So that's why here we use based on users local. Now there is one option here in the last, return zero or error. So return zero or error. Let's say there is, you're doing any kind of manipulation. Let's say you're trying to convert a text field, but here in this one, whatever value you pass. Okay, right now I have passed a text constant calculated field. Let's say you're passing some another field, and that value is not that field is not having any value for one particular worker. Okay, so now let's say for one employee, if the value of this field is not available in the system, that is generally going to be error, because we are trying to convert which doesn't exist. We are trying to convert nothing. Okay, it's like divide by zero. Okay, so in that case, you should always select, not in that case, basically always you should select return zero on error. So for any employee, if there is any issue with this calculated field, and let's say this calculated field goes into error because of the field you have used, then in that case this is not going to generate any kind of error. Instead, it is going to give you the value 0. Why do we do that? Let's say you have created some calculations. Okay, you have created a calculated field. You have used that calculated field in the report. You have given that report to the business. Now, when the business is running that report, suddenly business is not able to run the report. It is giving the error. It is saying like one of the calculated field is not working. Okay, so it's better. We should not be configuring in such a way like if you are giving something to someone else, it's not even working. Okay, so if there is any issue with the data, better to print 0 instead of going into the error or generating the incorrect values. Okay, so that is why when we create, this is the option you are going to see in many calculated field. Okay, and this calculated field, the major reason is like whenever the calculation goes, something wrong, then that this option is going to return 0. Okay, in your report or wherever you are using this calculated field. Okay, so this is again a very simple calculated field. You can try, probably not in this way. I would say like you extract year from your date of birth. You extract year from your date of birth, and then you just try to uh, convert that into number, and then you try to add some number of years to understand your retirement age. Now the next calculated field we have is increment and decrement date. Okay, so this increment and decrement date is let's say you have some date field, date of birth or higher date, or real time scenario. If you want to understand, then let's say there is a probation period of 15 months. Okay, you have joined the company on one particular date. There is a date. I'm just saying the date is higher date or joining date. Okay. Now in your company, the probation period is 15 months. Okay. Now you want to calculate the date on which you are going to be confirmed in that company. So the confirmation date would be your probation date plus 15 months. And this is something you have to derive. Okay, so you need to create a calculated field which can give the confirmation date of the employees. Okay, whoever has been hired. So for this one, what we need to do is we need to add 15 months in the higher date to get the confirmation date. Okay, so now we are going to create this one. You understood the scenario, guys? What are we trying to do? This is just an example, but with this example, we will understand how can we add or subtract date, days, years from the date field. Okay, so now I'm going to recalc field again. I'm saying CF INCR confirmation date on worker business object. Here I'm just giving worker and function is INCR increment or decrement. Here you can see the function increment or decrement date. Okay. Here I have mentioned, and actually it should be or. Hmm. So uh, the calculated field has been created. Now here in this date field, you have to give the date on which you want to do the calculation. Okay, so I want to do the calculation with this requirement. The requirement is I have to calculate the confirmation date using higher date. So if I add 15 months in higher date, I'll get the confirmation date. Okay. So here I'm gonna just add the field on which I want to do the calculation. So this is the higher date. Now this is the higher date. Now after higher date, I need to calculate. I need to just add 15 months. Okay. What I need is here you can see months to add and subtract. If you want to add, just simply add 15. Number exists. If you want to subtract, just use minus 15. Okay. So I have to add. So I am using 15 and then return blank date on error. Return blank date on error. Let's say I'm doing this calculation. Okay, I want to add 15 in one of the date. Okay, and let's say higher date. See, in the real time, higher date cannot be blank for any worker. If you hire any worker in the system, definitely there will be higher date. But here, for example, I have used higher date. Let's say you are using some another date, continuous service date, company service date, time of service date, date of birth, okay, or let's say any other date. And if that field, that date is empty for any of the worker and you are trying to add 15 months, so ideally that will go in the error. Okay, so when that will be, when we will be having that situation, always this checkbox should be selected. So if this calculation, whenever this calculation is going into the error, then it is going to return you blank date. Okay, it's not going to give you any error. Instead, it is going to blank. It is going to return the blank date on error. Okay, so that's why this should be checked. I have checked this one as well. Now I'm clicking on OK. Your calculated field has been created. Now let's see how this is calculating the date. So I'm adding this calculated field in the report. And I have used higher date as well. So I'm going to add just after higher date so that you can visualize the output. So this is the higher date. Now, if you see higher date and higher date plus 15 months, see, this is 15 months from higher date. Okay, I mean for these two employees, there is a same higher date. That is why we can see the same value. But when you are going to run this report for approximately, you can run for all the employees as well. Then you will see like this date is going to be different. But whatever date is appearing here as a higher date, this calculated field is going to add 15 months in that higher date. Is this clear?
Yes, Ganesh. Yes.
Okay. So any question on this one? Sweta, you clear?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Dilip, I'm gonna review your report in the last. Okay, so let me finish all the the calculated fields, and then in the last I'll review and I'll show on the screen as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Yep. So now this increment and decrement calculated field, I hope you understand what is the use of this calculated field function. So it's basically if you need to derive any date by adding or subtracting some days, months, or year in any of the date field, you can use this calculated field functions. Okay. This is done. Now the next calculated field we have is date difference. Okay, the next calculated field we have is the date difference. So date difference is actually used to find the difference between two dates. Okay, so let's say uh, you have higher date and you have date of birth as well. Now you want to calculate your your actual age. So what you can do is your age on the higher date. Okay, so your age on the higher date, that means what the calculation would be like higher date minus date of birth. Okay, if you need to do this one, then how can you do that? So again, you just go here, create a calculated field. create calculated field, give CF date difference, let's say hire date minus date of birth on worker, and here worker date difference. So here start date, it is asking start date. So let's say I am giving hire date and then date of birth. Date of birth. Now here, this is the start date and end date. Okay, you can shuffle this one. Just do date of birth here and hire date here. You will see in one of the case you will get the positive value. In another case you will get the negative value. Okay, so it's basically you're trying to do calculations between the big number and the small number. So you can taste and then you can switch back. If you are getting confused, so you don't need to remember that. You can try by creating this and running into the report, and then you see, and based on that you can switch that as well. Now here, if you see the values returned, you can decide like how exactly you want this to return the value. Like if you want to return the values in number of years, number of months, number of days, and number of hours and all, how exactly you want to return this one. So let's say if you want in number of months, not in years, or let's say you want in number of years, okay, then you can select in years. Here you select return zero on error, and then you click on OK. I'll come to this. Ignore lower level date components. I'll come to this. Now click on this. Again, use this. Probably let me do one thing. I'm copying calculated field. I'm just copying this one and I'm selecting ignore lower level component. So what is this actually? In additional information, you can see there is a checkbox, ignore lower level date components. Okay, so what does mean? Let me show you the difference. Click on OK. Now I have created two calculated field. This is the one calculated field. I have created another calculated field. Just quickly copying one of the calculated field and doing a bit of manipulations. Okay. So this is another you should be knowing. Like if you have any calculated field and if you need to create similar calculated field for multiple times, you can just copy, give the name, and it will create multiple. It will create calculated fields. Okay. Now here in this report, okay, first of all, let me clear this one. Hmm. Oh, I did not add the column, sorry. So now here I need to add to this is higher date, date of birth. Uh, I'm adding here after this. So here now if I go the date difference. So this is minus. So basically I have done incorrect. Okay, ideally here it should be higher date should be in date. So higher date minus date of birth, right? So in date minus start date. So this is why it is giving negative. Okay, so that's why I have added this higher date as a start date and in date as a date of birth. Okay, so to do the calculation, you should be using higher date as a end date and date of birth as a start date. Okay, then you will get the difference, the actual difference. So now let me, revert this one. To revert this one, what I'm gonna do is simply just go to the calculated field, related action. Then in this related action, in calculated field, just click on edit. And here just do date of birth, higher date. Similarly, I need to edit this one as well. Now let's run the report again. Here you can see minus 25 minus 26. This is going to change now. So I'm clicking on this one, change the selection. Either I can refresh or I can just click on this change selection and then run again. Yep. So here I can just click on OK and this report is going to be executed again. Now here if you scroll in the right, yeah, see this is the date of birth. This is the date of birth of the employee and this is the hire date. It's actually calculating the difference. Okay. So 1974, 9/8 1974 minus 1/1 2000. It is giving you the round figure 25 because you have selected in years. Okay. So it is giving you years. Now here, if you see, this is giving 26. Okay. For everything, what for every differences you can see like there is a difference of one. Okay, and what is the change in this to calculated field is just ignore lower level date components. Ignore lower level date components. So here in this calculated field this is unchecked and in this calculated field this is checked. Okay, so what exactly this is doing is this is actually when you do the differences. Okay, let's say in if you just do in number of months or number of days, then it will be like 25 years some months and all. Okay, so basically in this date difference this is ignoring the rest of the months and it is actually adding. So if you know the seal function and floor function, okay, so the seal and floor function what it actually does is that actually add one more to make this as a wrong figure, round figure if there are additional substituent left. So let's say this is 25.6, 25.8. This is going to be considered as 26. Okay, and in another case 25.8 it is going to be considered as 28. Sorry, 25. Okay, so this one is actually important. So I'm gonna show you in the documentation as well. This is something you should be remembering. Not this one. Oh, sorry, guys. There was a table. So basically, you just focus on this one, okay, this one. This is the important thing. So basically, it is saying select the ignore lower level date component checkbox if you want the lower level components to not be taken into account in the date difference calculation. Okay, if that if you do not sorry, if you want the lower level components to not be taken into the account, then you have to select this checkbox, ignore lower level date components. Okay, here it is giving, one example. The year difference between April 1, 2006 and Feb 1, 2008 would result 1 year if the ignore lower level date component checkbox is not selected. Okay, and 2 years if selected. So why did that is happening? So basically this is a difference of not, there is a difference of more than 1 year. So this is taking into account when you're selecting, and that's why it is giving you the 2 years. Okay. Similarly, the months difference between May 15, 2007 and September 14, 2007 would result in 3 months if the ignore level date component checkbox is not selected, and 4 months if it is selected. Okay, so this is something I would say, you guys explore. I'll give you one table for this one as well. Okay, so you guys explore on this one how exactly this is working. So when you do the difference, like date of birth minus higher date, you create multiple calculated fields. Okay, or you just try to get in the number of months, and you do the actual calculation in the Excel sheet, like how many years, how many months, how many days are the real figures. Okay, and then you understand what actually this is doing. Okay, this is one of the important checkbox. How many? Don't think like it's a simple one. If you say in any interview like the calculated field, and if they start with the date difference, they are definitely going to ask this option. Okay, they're definitely going to ask this option. So explore this option. When you do the difference, just try to understand what exactly this is doing. Now the next calculated field is date constant. I'm going cal field CF date constant. Let's say 1/1/2025. On this one, let me create on global. Now here I'm just mentioning global date date constant. Click on this date constant and then click on OK. Now here, this is a date constant. So basically, date constant allows you to create a static date, whatever date you want to create, and if you want to create a date or date time or date and time with a time zone, then you can use this date constant calculated field. Okay, so let's say you have to create 01/01/2025. This is a date, this is a constant date you want to create. Okay, or you want to create not only date, but you want to create date and time, or you want to create date, time and zone, so you can use this calculated field. This is just to create, the constant date in the system. Okay. This will be to create constant date in the system. Okay. Now, when you add this report in the if you add this calculated field in the report, you will get 1/1/2025. Okay. So I'm not adding that, calculated fill in the report, but you can explore. And if you can, that is just a constant, like, we have tested numeric constant and text constant, right? So you can create and you can add that value in the report. See, I would say when you guys are practicing, okay, to be honest, when you guys are practicing, There are multiple approaches you can follow. Like you create one field, one calculated field, just paste in the report, and then you work on the next calculated field. But I would suggest, as the tenant is slow, you create all this calculated field first, just copy the name of those calculated fields, edit the report once, add all those calculated fields in one go, and then you test. Okay, it will be quick for you to testing. Otherwise, it will be like you will create a calculated field, you're going to add, and then again testing, then again create calculated field, then again add, then again testing. So recurring task, that is going to save your recurring effort. Okay, but it's your choice. You can practice in whatever way you want to, but I would recommend this doing in this way. So this is date constant. Now the another a date function we have is format date. Okay, format date and build date. We will talk about two more calculated fields quickly. One is format date and another is build date. Now CF format date. Let's say I'm trying to format higher date in some another format. I'm not mentioning the format here on worker business object. Here, let's in business object just mention worker. Which one of the format date? So here you can see format date. Yeah. So when you create calculated field to format any date, it is going to ask you the date which you want to format, and then what kind of format you want to give. Okay. So let's say I have to convert the format of higher date. So I am just giving the higher date so that it can consume the input. This will be the input for this calculated field, and output format I can decide. So there are some pre-default predefined format available, like if you want to extract the year, if you want to extract the quarter, month, day of the week, year, quarter, if you want to extract all these things, you have a default option. You can do that. Okay. And let's say you don't want any of this option. You want to create your own format. Okay. So if you want to create your own format, then there is in the last, there is an option of format mask. You select this format mask. When you select this format mask, you will get a text box. And in this one, it is, when you click on you don't need to click. When you just put your cursor on this text box, it is going to give you like these are the values you can use, and with the examples as well. Like these are the values you can use to change the formatting. Let's say I just need uh day dd, then let's say, then again I'm just doing uh mmm y. So I have just done this thing. Now I'm clicking on OK. Now let me copy this in the report and let me show you how this works. See if FD hired on worker. I think this is the one. Click on OK. So here you can see this is the hire date 1/1/2000, and here the formatting, whatever format I have given. Okay, so the same format it is appearing here. So 01 double dot Zan triple dot 2000. So this is what I have done here. See, DD double dot triple dot YYY. Okay, same thing is coming here. So basically, this calculated fill function is used to change the format of the date. Okay, and when you change the format of the date, this is going to give you the text field. So when you extract year from the higher date or from any other date field, this calculated field is going to give you the text value, not the numeric value. Okay. Now the last one for today, I'm gonna show you is build date. Okay, so the build date is, let's say you have to create date using the date month field from another fields. Okay, let me show you how that looks like. Create calculated field. CF for this one, I'm just mentioning Ganesh batch B4 so that I identify. And now this is build date BD on worker BD. Uh, let's say okay, first first day of date of birth year on worker. I'm gonna show you what is this. Now I'm giving worker business object. I need to use date of birth. Come on. Build it. Now with build is click on OK. So when you click on OK, then here you can see there is year, month, and day. Okay, and then return blank or blank date on error. So first of all, I'm going to select this one. Now year, here this is this here you can hard code date as well. Like let's say I need to generate whatever the real type scenario is like this. You have your date of birth, and from this date of birth, I need to derive a date which should be first of March. Okay. No, first of date, the day will be first of, the month will be, this will be the day. The day will be always 01. Month will be month from your date of birth. And year is also year from let's say date of birth, or let's say higher date. Anyone. I'm gonna use date of birth here. So what to build is this the date, like the day should be 01 always. The month should be extracted from your date of birth, and year should be extracted from your date of birth. Okay, so I need to build one date like this one. Okay, so in this case, what you are going to do is, let's start with the day. So day is in the last, and I'm saying the day should always be 01. That means this is a hard coded one. This is a hard coded one. So hard coded one, I can use this specify. When I do this specify, that means I'll be able to select one particular value. So this is a hard coding. The day will always be one. Okay. Now coming to the month. For month we are saying the month should be extracted from your date of birth. So select extract month from date field, and here you use date of birth. Date of birth. Now what it is going to do is, it is going to pull month from your date of birth. Okay, and for year also we need to pull from date of birth. So again you just mention extract year from date field, and here you just give date of birth. Now click on OK. Your date has been created. Now when you add this, in the report. I'm always adding this calculated field after the field which I have used in the calculation so that I can compare the values. Okay, easily. Okay, now run a test, click OK. Now if you see here, this is date of birth. Okay, and this is the date which we have built. So here if you see the day has been manipulated. The day is always coming as 01. Okay, see, always the day is 01, and the month, you can see month and year, you can see that is coming from the date of birth. Okay, so if you are in a situation where you need to build date by using another field, okay, then you are going to use build date function.